Today I'm going to share some super creative ideas that will inspire you to turn old stuff into something amazing. Welcome to the Chic Show. This rustic home decor list is hosted by Shabby Meets Bling and Repurposed My Way. For this project, I'm using some of Dixie Belle's Patina paint and spray and this galvanized cross from Dollar Tree that I had originally redone for something else. I'm also using some resin molds that I made previously. The first step with this patina paint is to paint it with the iron paint and let it dry, and then go back and give it a second coat of the iron paint, and then spritz it with the patina spray. And it works on metal. It also works on these resin molds as well. Now I'm just arranging the molds onto the cross the way I want them, and then I'm going to use some clear Gorilla Glue to attach them. I'm loving the way this turned out so far, but I do want to add a little bit more patina. So I'm going to be dabbing on each of these colors that you see here just in various places to continue to add to that patina. Now I'm going back with a wet wipe and I'm just dabbing some of that paint off. Now to soften those colors just a bit, I'm using some black chalk paint just to dab over them. I always like to go back over my molds and use a little bit of gold rub and buff. I'm using it all around the cross as well, but the rub and buff tends to bring out the details of the molds. Now I'm using some little clickable stamps, and I'm going to stamp on IHS in gold at the bottom. This is the abbreviation for the first three letters of Jesus' name in Greek. I'm going to seal my cross with some Rust-Oleum matte clear, and I'm going to add my beautiful rustic cross to a wreath.
It never rains in California. The sun is always shining bright. People are smiling, making plans, hiding behind their shade. The sun is always shining bright.
So I thrifted this piece, I think, at the Goodwill bins. It looks like it was part of a banister, like maybe a front porch or something like that. But we're going to use it this way as a ladder. I'm not going to paint anything on it because I like the chippy paint just like it is, nice and rustic. What I am going to do is add some decorative elements to this piece. So I think I'm going to add this little wreath, a little candle holder, and maybe a tea towel down here. For the wreath, I'm going to add on this little piece of jute twine so that we can just tie it right to this top rung. I'm going to use this little S hook for the candle holder. I could have done that for the wreath, but I thought the wreath would hang down too far for that. So we're going to add this here, and for our candle holder, we're going to add a piece of rusty wire to make a handle to hang it from. I did end up moving my wreath all the way down to the bottom. I added a little dish towel to the top, and then my candle holder over to the left.
No rain, no flowers, hands grow and wait. I bet that you can get any sleep in that bed, lying awake. 'Cause I'm not there beside you, keeping you warm, and I know it never rains in California. The sun is always shining right.
I thrifted this piece of wood for 25 cents, and I'm just going to give the entire thing a coat of black chalk paint and ink by Waverly. I did try to remove that paper off the front, but it was on there pretty good, so I think we can just cover it up. I thrifted this hymnal specifically so that I could use the pages out of it. So I'm going to be using this page right here, and I'm going to be tearing it out and then using some water to tear around the parts that I want that I'm going to attach to the front of the wood block. This paper was a little bit thicker than I was anticipating, so I did have to work at it just a bit. But I just want each edge to have that torn look rather than a straight edge. Once I have it to the size that I want, I'm going to wad it up and make it as wrinkly as possible. And then I'll unwrap it and make sure that it's going to fit on the front of my piece. Using my finger sander, I'm going to sand around the edges of the block, being careful not to expose that paper that is on the front. I'm also going to sand around each of the flat sides as well. I'm going to apply a coat of this decoupage onto the front of the block so that I can place the music sheet down on top. I'll also coat the music sheet with more of the decoupage. Now, although this paper does have a patina to it, I do want it to look a little bit more rustic. So I'm going to achieve that by adding on some Waverly Antique wax. I'm going to brush it over the top, not waiting too long, and then I'm going to wipe it back with a wet wipe. I did go all around the wood piece because there's something about that antique wax that really makes black paint even richer. Once everything is dry, I'm going to embellish the top with a little bit of greenery and a burlap flower. I was trying to decide between this flower and this smaller one, and ultimately I think the smaller one looks better. I'll attach everything down with some hot glue, let it set up, and then this project is ready to be styled.
It never rains in California. The sun is always shining right. People are smiling, making plans, hiding behind their shade. The sun is always shining right.
Repurposing old items is an amazing way to reduce waste, get creative, and develop a new skill. I would love to know which of these 3 home decor ideas was your favorite. Don't forget to check out our host channels and the playlist in the description box below. And here's another video I think you might like. Thanks so much for watching. Remember to share the chic. Bye now.